Good morning class. Welcome to your physics class. We will continue with chapter heat. Already in this chapter we have learned about heat, its unit, and we've also learned about different units of heat, like we have learned centigrade, degree Fahrenheit and Kelvin. These are the different units of temperature, and we also have learned how we can convert degree Celsius into degree Fahrenheit and then degree Celsius to Kelvin. We have learned to interchange the different scales of temperature. Now we are going to start with effects of heat. Now effects of heat. Now what are the effects of heat? See, we do not eat our food raw. Most of the time we cook our food. When we cook, there may be change in its color and in its size. So there can be physical as well as chemical changes when heat is given to our food. So both living as well as non-living things get affected with heat. You also get affected with heat, like when we feel hot, we sweat a lot. Right? So this way there are different living or non-living things react differently to heat. Now let's learn some of the effects of temperature. Like when we provide heat to an object or to some body, the changes may occur in it are like change in its temperature. Like when we provide heat to an object, its temperature increases. Change in size and shape. Sometimes the shape and the size of the object also changes on providing the heat, and then change in state. Yes, that this also happens. Its state also changes, like liquid changes into vapors or solid changes into liquid. These are the states in which the object may change on getting the heat. Now change in temperature. Now we are going to discuss the effects of heat in detail. First is change in temperature. Now we already know that heat flows from a body at high temperature to a body at low temperature, means from a hot body to a cold body. Thus when a body is heated, its temperature increases. On the other hand, if a body is cooled, its temperature decreases. So we can say different objects react differently to heat. Different objects react differently to heat. This can be explained very easily with the help of an example of two spoons. Let's say we have one spoon made up of steel or iron and the other spoon made up of wood. Take these two spoons and place them in heat for some time under the sun. Keep them under the sun for some time, say 1 hour or 2 hours. Then after some time, go and check. You will feel that the iron or the steel spoon is more hot as compared to the wooden spoon. Why does it happen? This is happen because of the nature of the material and the amount of heat supplied. Nature of the material means, like we have taken a steel or an iron spoon, which is a good conductor of heat, which absorbs heat very easily. That's why it becomes very hot. And on the other hand, wood is not a good conductor of heat, so it will not absorb heat quickly. So that's why its temperature increases, but not as same as the in case of the steel spoon. Right? Change in temperature of a body depends upon the amount of heat supplied also. This can also be explained with the help of an example. For example, we have a teapot with water, and when we are keeping that teapot on a sim mode, means when we are providing lesser heat, its temperature rises very slowly. And when we switch the stove to high mode, then the temperature rises very quickly. So this clears that when more heat is provided, temperature increases very quickly. When low heat is provided, temperature rises very slowly. So we can say that change in temperature of a body depends upon two things. What are the two things? One, the nature of the material of the object, and second, the amount of heat being supplied to that object, right? Now, there's a question given in the book. Have you ever felt shivering cold when fever increases? Yes, we all do feel shivering. Now, can you explain why do you feel this shivering? Well, this is because at high fever, heat of the body increases, so body temperature also increases as compared to the temperature of the surroundings. So heat from our bodies at high temperature start flowing to the surroundings and we feel cold. That's why we feel cold, because our body heat is going to the surroundings. So we can clearly say that change in heat brings change in temperature of an object. So these all are the examples which clears that temperature, rise in temperature is because of the change in heat of an object. Now next is change in size or shape of an object. So if second effect of heat is change in size or shape of an object. There are some examples given to make this point clear. Like first one, have you ever seen your elders opening the metallic lid of a stuck up glass bottle by dipping it in the water? When you dip it into the water, what happens? The metal lid becomes loose because it starts expanding, so it becomes loose, and because it becomes loose, it opened very easily. Why does it happen? Expansion happens. Expansion means size increases. So when the size increases, the lid becomes loose and it is easy to open it. Now, same way, wheel of a cart are fitted with flat iron rings. By heating the rings red hot, this increases the size of the ring, so it fits easily on the wheel. On getting cold, it shrinks its in size and fits very well on the wooden wheel. So how does, because you can see that the wheel, the wooden wheel size is more as compared to the size of the ring, iron ring, which is going to be fit on the wooden wheel. What they do, they put that iron ring into the heat, and when it becomes red hot, its size increases. So once its size increases, it can easily go into the wooden wheel. It can easily go onto the wooden wheel, and once it is onto the wooden wheel, then they take that wheel and put it into the water so that it should start cooling. And because on cooling, the size again reduces, the size of the ring reduces again, and it can easily stuck to the wooden wheel. Right? Same way, rubber rings of pressure cooker lid becomes loose after use. Its size increases when heated time and again. So in your houses also, your mothers are using pressure cookers. So you can check, once your mother is cooking something in the pressure cooker, it is hot, the lid of the cooker is hot, you can see that the rubber on the lid is loose. Why does it happen? Because it is heated, and once it is heated, its size increases and becomes loose, right? And when you keep it aside for some time and it is cooled, you'll see that it is difficult to place it on the cooker lid again. So we can say, on providing heat, the size increases, and once it is started cooling, the size again reduces. So there is a fact given: a thermometer works on the principle of thermal expansion and contraction of substance. Thermal expansion means on providing heat, the size increases, and on taking out the heat, the contraction happens, means the size reduces. A thermometer has mercury in its bulb that expands and contracts depending upon the temperature. So mercury expands when it is getting heat, and when it is cool, it starts contracting. So expansion and contraction of mercury is uniform and mercury does not stick to the walls of the computer. So examiner may ask you the question, why mercury is used in thermometer? Then you can give this answer: the expansion and contraction of the mercury is uniform. This is the one reason, because mercury expands and contracts evenly. Same way, mercury does not stick to the walls of the thermometer. These are the 2 points you can get. It is an opaque. The third point, it is an opaque and shiny liquid. That is why it is very easily to view, and its position in the thermometer can be easily read. So there are 3 points given. One, that it expands and contracts uniformly. Second, it does not stick to the walls of the thermometer. And third, it is an opaque and shiny material. So that's why mercury is used in the thermometers generally. The next topic is expansion and contraction. Expansion and contraction, we will only talk about here about the thermal expansion and thermal contraction. Now we know that when an object is heated, its size increases. Substances generally expand on heating and contract on cooling. This we have already learned, that how the size increases or decreases. Have you ever observed railway tracks? Did you notice gaps between rails? If you have noticed, then very good. It is done to take care of expansion of rails due to heating. Now what happens, because the rail wheels are moving on the iron tracks, so because of the friction between the tracks and the wheels, there is lot of heat produced. Because of that heat produced, expansion occurs. So to avoid the zigzag path which occurs because of the expansion, because if the railings do not get space to expand, they will slag and there will be a zigzag path. So if there is a zigzag path, rail cannot move on it. So there has to be gaps kept between the two railway tracks so that the tracks can expand on heating. If this is not done, the rail lines would expand during summers and bend because of the heat due to the sun and friction, right? So what happened, there will be bend between the railway tracks and it will be very difficult for the rail train to move on that. So that's why the gaps are